Yo, are Siegfried and Roy lovers?
Did you just call him Roy?
No,
It sounded like you called them Siegfried and Roy.
I did not.
Yeah, I think you did.
Were they? They're no longer with us, right?
I think they're still alive.
Siegfried and
Yeah.
Roy are no longer with us.
They magically disappeared.
They both died.
Thank you. You're Roy today.
I am.
And Roy is Siegfried.
That's right.
So Roy is not Roy today.
I'm Roy.
Okay.
But Roy is Siegfried.
Greg-
Right, Roy? Yes.
Correct.
Greg just said that Roy looks good in that wig.
Thank you.
Seriously.
Oh, that's going to get annoying. That's going to get annoying if every time I say Roy, he
Yeah?
answers because he's Roy and you're Siegfried. But can we answer Zaz's question?
Are they lovers?
We don't know, do we?
How do we not know?
I think people assumed that they were, but I don't believe that they ever confirmed that.
Per Wikipedia, Siegfried and Roy were romantically involved, though details were never disclosed.
The details were they had a lot of sex.
I don't believe those were the details.
I mean, it has to be.
I believe
right?
you're imagining that.
They lived together at Jungle Palace, a Moroccan-themed 8-acre estate in the Las Vegas area, part of their 80-acre property they called Little Bavaria.
Yeah, that's a lot of sex happening.
Separate houses on the property since '96.
That's a heady play. I think Rob Zombie does that too.
I'm pretty sure that they were a couple at one point and then stayed together because the business worked. Put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Is there a lot of sexual meanderings at Jungle Palace, the Moroccan venue?
The business worked until it didn't.
That's correct, Roy. I'm sorry, Siegfried.
Thank you.
That's good analysis by you. The business did work for them very well right up until the tiger attacked one of them, and then that's one of the perils of doing business with a tiger.
Well, it's my belief that I was having a stroke, and the tiger was just trying to save me from said stroke, not that I had a stroke after due to medical complications.
Dude, that was one of the great explanations ever. Like, no, it's not the tiger's fault. Like, he actually was concerned. Like, hey man, are you okay? Remember we did this bit right on the show like 3 years ago. Like, hey man, are you okay? Hey man, this guy's having a stroke. I gotta save him.
They were concerned with the optics right until the very end, and they didn't want to harm the meal ticket after the meal ticket had quite literally harmed them.
Made them into a meal ticket.
Purdue was a number 1 seed as
Kirk Cousins look like J.C. Penney.
Looks like it's back, Jack. It's bracket time, so make a chart. Does Jeff Van Gundy look just like the Queen of Hearts? Does Adam Silver look like a torpedo bat? Let's get Mark Sadness back on track. Looks like it's back, Jack. When the donuts are in front of you, does Andy Reid say, don't mind if I do? Adam Silver looks like a Q-tip thing, or frying a bag of onion rings. When Timmy laughs until he has, that's how you know that looks like his back, Jack. Let me hear you say. Looks like his back, Jack. Let's keep on doing it every year. So add that verse says Mr. Bond. Welcome to Tangier. Jeff Fisher looks like shotgunning beers at a NASCAR track. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Looks like his back, Jack.
Northwestern is gone from the tournament.
Jim Harbaugh looks like a casket salesman.
Fairleigh Dickinson, 16 seed, repped by
Mike McDaniel looked like a college student on a full ride scholarship for esports.
What a run.
Looks like his back, Jack.
I've always known that Greg Cody is in love with the sound of his own voice, but never more so than when it is singing. I wish we'd had the narcissist cam on right there so you guys could have seen him dancing with delight to his Looks Like song.
There was pride. He wasn't really even smiling. It was just this look of, I'm proud of this.
No, he was radiant. It was beyond a smile. It was somewhere in the realm of sunshine.
It was a good performance. You know, you don't deny the obvious. It was a good performance. Full credit to producer Yeti working his magic in the background.
This is time for an acceptance speech. I just wanted to point out that you're a narcissist.
I thought I was winning an award.
Amin came in today. He, too, was radiant because he loves him some basketball. And he came in here today saying, and this is the highest compliment, Wemby, worth the price of admission, even though Amin doesn't have to pay to get into the games.
Let me tell you, I would have. What I saw last night, absolutely. Like, I was telling Jeremy earlier, Dan, that Wemby gets into situations that for the entire history of basketball, that ends in a tough shot, right? Gets in the paint, but not quite at the rim. He gets some contact, and usually you're like, oh, he's going to have to throw up a floater or something like that. And last night, at least 3 or 4 different times, like, nope, I'm just going to reach over and dunk it. It's just so staggering. You're not used to seeing that happen. Someone in that situation finish it off with a dunk, and not a ferocious, violent dunk of like, oh, I just went right through you and chest to chest, Amari Stoudemire style. Nope.
It's
just
absurd.
reaches.
It feels sometimes like he doesn't have to jump in order to even do it. Like he doesn't even – it feels – what you're describing is absolutely so. Throughout times as watching basketball, I am used to bodies being able to behave a certain way, and the only ones like, you know, George Murasan or Boban, the ones who could just stand under the basket and do it are one thing. But if I'm expecting a mid-range jumper and all of a sudden somebody's just Inspector Gadget putting their arm out and dunking, it confuses me. It disorients what I'm used to seeing from the sport.
Over under 2.5 championships for his career.
Oh, I go over there.
Got to go over, right?
Well, I'm very worried. Honestly, what Mike Ryan, that bit that he was doing for a long time about Wemby's going to be a bust, et cetera, because he was just scared he's going to hog all the championships. That team shouldn't be that good. They've got good pieces, but the fact that at the center of it, they can recreate what it is that the Nuggets do with Jokic, but with somebody more athletic, where you can't take the ball from him. You can't block his shot. If he gets the ball in the middle of the paint, he can do whatever he wants with it. It doesn't matter how many giants are around it.
That wasn't exactly my Wemby take. My Wemby take was I expect him to get hurt because people that frame do get hurt, and then the guy takes care of his body in phenomenal ways. And now that he's healthy, the other part of the take was the game's unfair to somebody that size, and he has this advantage. The game is a little unfair, but what you could always count on in the history of the game was somebody not having the intangibles. He works hard. He keeps his body in tip-top shape. He remains pliable. He has this killer instinct. He's incredibly likable, too. So, yeah. He's going to be running this league provided he keeps taking care of his body this way.
When Mike said this guy's going to get hurt all the time, I think the next week, right around that time, was when they had the video of him doing yoga and like putting his head between his legs and like seeing the back, like seeing his back from underneath. No, this dude is. Look, I hesitate to put the line that high. 2.5 championships is a lot. You're seeing what the league looks like now, how hard it is to keep good teams together.
I think he's going to win this year.
No.
No?
That one I could.
I took him at plus 600 after what I saw last night. You could count on guys
you took
like
the Spurs to win.
I took them. They were at plus 600 last I checked. But I think typically when you see people this gifted, sometimes they take their own gifts for granted, and that is not the case with Wemby. He wants to get better.
He had a whole post-game speech because 2 games ago they clinched a playoff spot for the first time in 6 years. And he did this whole spiel post-game where it's like, I don't want to celebrate tonight because I'm scared of being complacent. And yeah, like he's everything that you want, man.
He's going to have, if he is healthy, what Rachel Nichols was telling us yesterday, a top 10 career ever. I think it's Amin doesn't want to get carried away with championships, but I think it's obvious when I tell you I don't want to dismiss the Spurs. Castle and Harper are top 5 picks. De'Aaron Fox is an all-star, but that would just be another team if at the literal center of it they didn't have a guy who makes basketball unfair. Like what is happening out there, can't really be competed with if you're going to have that size, that athleticism, and handle the ball that way, have range, and be an athlete that looks like all the other athletes at a height that athletes aren't allowed to be that size and be that kind of athletic.
How many teams, so based on what you just said, because I think you're right. Like, I think if Wembanyama was not on this Spurs team, I think it's a bad team. How many teams?
I don't think it's bad.
That
I just think it's another team.
They're the Heat.
I don't think it's bad.
No, they were 14-3 when he was hurt. Like they're good. They are good for real.
So how many teams in the league do you think you just put Wembanyama on and they would be really good?
All of them.
Really good.
Like, what's really good to you? Playoff
Spurs
team?
are. What the Spurs are.
No. See, playoff team isn't really good for me. I want to make this correction just real quick because we're going to have some conversation here about Bam not wanting to be in the play-in game. And the play-in game, just for the record, okay, they can distort this all they want. They can make money in all the places that they want. That is a total fraudulence, okay? The playoffs were already...
What's a fraudulence?
The idea that making the playoffs is a success when half the teams make the playoffs and now you've extended it. Like, it was fraudulent before. When it's 16 teams and sometimes you got a sub-500 team in because of weak conference or whatever, it's fraudulent to have half of your teams in the playoffs, but the play-in game allows it to be more than half and worse than ever. I mean, you got 10 teams not trying. So basically... 20 teams, here you go. You're a playoff team because 10 of them aren't trying.
I would say that you are not only a prisoner of the moment, you are Al Capone and Alcatraz of the moment. Typically, what we've seen in this play-in era is teams 11 and sometimes even 12 are still actively trying to get into that play-in because the play-in gives you an opportunity to extend your season, as we saw with Miami a few years ago. So typically what we've had is more engagement in this part of the calendar. This year is an anomaly because of several things, not the least of which we have an incredible draft class, and so there's a bunch of teams that are like, yeah, I don't really care as much of having a chance to extend my season if I have a chance to get one of these generational talents.
Well, to Dan's point, if you're a play-in team, you should be embarrassed to call yourself a playoff team. You're not. You're in a tournament to make the playoffs. It's a false brag to say that you're a playoff team if you finish 11th where the Heat sit right now.
I mean, it might be an anomaly and they might get it fixed. But this year, 10 teams aren't trying.
That's this year.
Okay, but this year, if 10 teams aren't trying, that's how the Heat have as good a record as they have. The Heat, look, Brian Scalabrine is dismissing the Heat as a playoff team. He's laughing at them. He is saying, basically, did you see how they looked against Cleveland in the playoffs last year when they got destroyed in a way that no team had ever been destroyed? Before I go to that sound, I want to check in with Roy, who is very eager to get in here.
With Victor Wembanyama, it's the size, but it's also the skill. The other night, he hits a buzzer beater that if you look at the way he set up the jumper in the mid-range, it looked like Kobe, except he's 7'5". Last night, there was a play in the lane where he's sprinting down. They're trying to create a break. There's a throw that is somehow over his head because how can you sail something over his head? But he catches the ball with one hand, spins, and as he's spinning, kicks the ball out to the corner with a level of athleticism and grace in his footwork that you don't see from guys who are 6'4". The fact that he's able to do it at 7'5", he is a truly unstoppable entity on the floor.
He just turned 22. He's so good that I almost think it's astounding that in his third season he hasn't won an MVP yet, and he's not favored this year. I think he's second or third in the odds. But that's how good he is. And I would also put 2.5 as the over-under on his MVP awards.
He said himself that he should be the MVP. Here's that sound.
I think right now it is still reasonable that there is a debate. But as I said, I want to make sure, my goal is to make sure that there's no debate anymore at the end of the season. 3 arguments. My first one would be that defense is 50% of the game and that it is undervalued so far in the MVP race because I believe I'm the most impactful player defensively in the league. Second argument would be that we almost swept OKC in the season and we dominated them 3 times with their real team and 4 times with the, more rotation players. And my third argument would be that offense impact is not just points.
God, I love the honesty of that answer. I
So
love
good.
that he is just laying out the argument for him the way a columnist would lay out, a hometown columnist would lay out the argument for him. I want to enjoy this before I ruin it because I think he's going to ruin it. I think he's going
We
to
get this year.
I think he's going to ruin the sport. He's going to keep getting better. That's not stoppable and it's not fair.
That's a great take, Dan.
Oh no, a really great player that ends up being put up as the foil to all the other teams. How bad for the
but
league.
Jeremy, I'm telling you.
Roy.
Thank you.
Jeremy, I am telling you.
Roy.
What's happening?
Nobody loves Goliath. And just historically, okay, maybe this guy will change the paradigm. But the fact that a player before was unfair, whether it's Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, at least he was the size of the other guys. Like when it's what you're talking about, that your brain short circuits because he's doing something in the middle of the key or in the middle of the paint where you're like, wait a minute, that's not something human beings can do. You don't just reach out and dunk it like that.
Enjoy this time, I would say, where this is a novelty. It's honestly got a little like circus sideshow bit to it because we'd never seen anybody look and play this kind of style. But in 2 years' time, First Take's going to be talking about how you need to alter the NBA because this is unfair.
The thing about Shaq was like this, and his kryptonite was the free throws. Shaq had some of this where
and laziness. Like he took his gifts for granted to a degree. I know he won several championships, but he never really fully maxed out.
He won several championships after he got embarrassed sort of the first 10 years of his life because everyone knew he should be better. But when Greg sets the over-under on Wemby at 2.5, I'm like, no, you got to think about this the way you think about Shaq if he is healthy. Because the last time I felt like this is Giannis.
I was going to say, we did this with Giannis.
Yeah, but we did this with Giannis, but this is 7 inches taller than Giannis.
And fewer holes in his game.
Yeah, Giannis still to this day has very obvious kind of flaws that make him mortal, right? Like we're talking about Superman. Oh, yeah, this is his kryptonite. This dude, I'm telling you, he may not be perfect, but he's not that far off. And that's the scary part is like, what's the thing that we're going to throw at him that's going to be his kryptonite?
I just saw it flash on the screen, the odds for MVP, and Luka, like Greg said, Luka's plus 200. He's second shortest odds, and Wembanyama's plus 1,100.
And also, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander
he's a favorite.
Updated odds from DK Sportsbooks, he's plus 2,200.
Wembanyama is.
Yeah.
Shea is minus
Okay, so even
1,000,
worse.
Luka plus 1,000.
Yeah, he's a huge long shot.
I'm sorry. So even worse. But what I was trying to say is there are people out there who would vote Doncic over Wembanyama for MVP this year. Like that has to be based on the games played, right?
Of course. Welcome to the 65-game rule, ladies and gentlemen, where it doesn't matter who was the best player. We're going to do a counting of, oh, no, he's only played 62 games. Sorry, you're out of this. This is why this rule is dumb.
Terrible.
There's not a single person with eyes who would watch those two
Right.
players say, and that guy's had a better season. But because of a technicality that does not address the problem that they wanted to address in the beginning, we're in this ridiculous situation where I must reiterate, 10 of the 15 All-NBA selections last year are on the cusp of being ineligible. Even these odds that you're talking about right here. Shea has played 59 games. They've got about 10 games left. So he's got to play pretty much 6 out of the next 10 games. Luka Doncic has played 59. Same thing for him. Anthony Edwards. Like, all of these guys, they've got to play in order to play this thing out. And so when you talk about Anthony Edwards being injured, Kate Cunningham with a collapsed lung, like there's going to be a pressure on guys to play basketball games when they really should not be playing just to be eligible.
I hope they all get hurt and like Derek White wins MVP this year.
Roy?
Yes?
It's so stupid.
There's a way to save this. Tell everyone, hey, Wemby's not going to play tonight, but we're going to start him. He's going to go for the tip.
Yes.
You
He's
think
going to tip it back?
You think that saves something? That's
Has he
awful.
lost?
No. Just hear me out.
Has he
Hear him
lost
out, hear
a
him
tip
out.
this year? I will hear him out, but has he lost a tip this year? Because watching last night's tip was funny.
Oh, watching Bam look like he's 6'2" is startling.
He
Because
can't
that is a
have
large
lost. There's
man.
no way he's lost a tip this year.
I'll
right?
look up the stat after this. But when it comes to being able to save these guys from All NBA and from the MVP race, you just say, hey, everybody, I know we're worried about the gambling odds. I know we're worried about all of the information. We're going to mark this guy. He is going to play. He is going to be available. Fine us if you would like. If you're an organization, if Wemby wants to win the MVP and you're the San Antonio Spurs and you need him to sit out 4 of the final 10 games, but he needs to play 8 of them, you say, hey, he's only going to play 1 minute. We're telling everybody he's going to play for 5 seconds. Why? So he can get the game played. He can come out. It doesn't influence the gambling odds. Find the organization. Who cares? This rule is ridiculous, and you need to show them how ridiculous it is.
Okay, this is a problem. The rule also says you have to play a certain number of minutes, so you can't.
Does it
do that.
really?
Yeah. Like, so that you can't have just like checked in, I was here, and then leave. Then that doesn't count.
So, like, why was Mikal Bridges able to do his thing? That was just to keep a,
Yeah,
a
just to keep a
streak
streak going. That
Okay.
has nothing to do with.
But that's still a game played, no?
It is funny to watch you rage indignantly without realizing that your hair is flapping around, that your wig is flapping around, and that you look even more ridiculous with your indignance. I want to put up on the screen, I know it goes probably without saying that Wemby is very giant, but just put up on the screen the size of his hands, please, so that you guys can see what you realize he's grabbing the basketball like it's a racquetball.
So Dan, that when Roy is describing that play last night, right, of him spinning and then throwing the pass, the part we're all like fixated on, he's so tall and long and all that. The part that people overlook is that pamplemousse, right? Like it's a grapefruit in his hand, so he gets to palm it and do all of this crazy stuff with
It's
it.
like Kawhi. People don't understand how big Kawhi's hands are. Abnormally large for his size.
Michael Jordan, that's again all the grace and elegance and athleticism. A big part of his thing was these massive mitts. That's why when he met me and he put his hand on my shoulder, it was literally like just a shadow came down and I was like, oh snap, that's a massive paw.
Look at me, Leroy.
Believe it or not, Wemby is 44-13 on tip-offs this season.
Plenty of Black Louis.
You notice Amin said when Michael Jordan met me, not when I met Michael Jordan.
Well, that's why he got the look at me, Leroy.
Do you know why I say it like that? Because I didn't introduce myself to him. He introduced himself to me.
Wow.
I was walking away, and that mitt went, and I was like, and I looked up, and I was like, oh, my God. And then he's like, and then he said, and you're really going to want to warm up the sound for this one. Hey, man, I really enjoy your work.
Look at me, Leroy.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are you stunned that Wemby has lost 13 tips this year? You saw that last night against Bam, okay? The idea that a human being is undersized anywhere, a human being the size of Bam, okay? If you've ever stood next to Bam, any of you, like, he's bigger than any human being you've never been next to who's not an NBA player. Like, you will never walk into any place where you're standing next to someone the size of Bam. To have Bam look like a toddler on the tip against Wemby, and for Wemby's armpit to be in Bam's face is just funny.
Dan, I remember the first time I saw Yao Ming, and like not on a basketball court, but in a social setting, and to see other NBA players marvel at how big this guy was. That's the closest thing I can think of. I remember Shaq playing against Yao Ming the first time, and there's a picture of him kind of like looking up just to kind of confirm how much taller this guy is than me. There's something about putting, like you said, giants in awe of how big you are.
Did you see late in the Gator game this past Friday night in the first round of the playoffs, the Gators were up by 1,000 points against Prairie View, and so the Gators put their freshman in, Olivier Rioux, who is 7'9", and there's this shot of him standing.
He's the tallest player ever, correct? In college basketball,
I think so.
He's not any good. He's like a sophomore now.
He's a freshman.
Is he a true freshman?
Oh, maybe not.
He was the guy that the football team put on field goal blocks, and it didn't work out.
So there's this shot of him standing there. He just checked into the game, and standing right next to him is a kid from Prairie View who happens to be 6'8", and he's looking up at him, and he's just, like, he's trying to chat him up, and like the kid who's 7'9", obviously doesn't really care to talk about how big he is. He gets it his whole life. And the kid from Prairie View, at one point, you could see him mouth his lips, goes, "You real big, man."
Dwayne Shinsis, who was the previous or the OG of Gator Giants, used to get into elevators, and whenever someone would say, "How's the weather up there?" he was so tired of it, he would spit and say, "It's raining."
I thought that was a Wilt story.
It was also a Dwayne Shinsis
Maybe they
story.
pass it along in the newsletter, guys.
Maybe Dwayne Shinsis, borrowed it. Zaz mentioned the Prairie View coach. They were down 18 in the first half, and this is how they all felt facing the 7'9" guy off the bench.
We need some help from the Lord. They're very good.
Roy, what do you got?
I was sitting in the presser yesterday as Victor Wembanyama walks in to make his case for MVP, and I'm sitting there, and I turn to look as he walks in, and I just it took like 4 seconds to keep looking up. His head almost touches the ceiling. And for anyone who has been in that building, like in that press conference room, that is not a short ceiling. That is a pretty high ceiling.
It's built for giants.
It's built for giants. And he still almost didn't fit. It's crazy. And speaking of tall guys in elevators, Taco Fall used to have to sit down and back into the elevator.
You know, if Bam Adebayo was playing for another team, I would circulate the "I'm sick of being in the play-in" quote as we got our next whale.
Let's go ahead and play this sound because Bam is bothered by this, and I just don't know what you do. They are topped out. This is as well as these human beings can play. I know it's an imperfect science, the draft, okay? Did you guys see this last night? Because Hero and Bam have absolutely been maximized by this organization as mid-first-round picks. But did you guys not notice obviously Wemby, but Castle as well? Like, you can see top 5 talents, what they look like. They look different than the other players. It's the reason when you're going through the meat market that is, let's scan the world for the greatest athletes we can find to be better than all these other great athletes. Oh, this guy's top 5 means something that this guy's top 13 doesn't. You can explain this as someone who's worked in a front office. The difference between 5 and 13 when you're scanning the world and you're finding somebody who's the 5th best prospect.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Obviously, the idea that they got all-stars in that zone is testament to scouting, like being able to talent recognize, but also development, right? We all know what Bam was when he came in the league. It wasn't this. He was
a poor man's Tristan Thompson, according to George Sedano.
Did he say that for real?
Yeah. Well, George Sedano relayed that's how people were talking about him when he came into the league. He can be at the high end of poor man's Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, he shared scout chatter when he drafted him.
I like it being George's opinion.
My point, though, is it's lost that whatever it is that the league generally applies to the Heat and say they know how to develop players, so does San Antonio. And they've got 3 top 5 picks. Miami's never had that. Yeah. They've got 3 top 5 picks and traded for an all-star and traded for Sacramento's last good player.
Traded for an all-star that the Miami Heat were in on, too.
So, have they turned Bam into a rich man's Tristan Thompson?
Yes.
Nice.
Although Tristan Thompson is a rich man's Tristan
He's
Thompson.
He's a rich man's Draymond Green.
LeBron got him a lot of money. Let's play the sound here of Bam saying he's fed up.
I mean, he's seen what I've been doing the last whatever amount of games, and I don't want to be in a play-in. So some of that is, he's got to protect me from myself, but also I don't want to be playing. So every game, I'm going to try to go out there and do the best I can to, carry this team and force our way out of that.
I want to get some sound here from Dwayne Wade, if you guys remember, way back. When Mike says this sounds like disgruntled superstar, the things that he's saying. His body language and his frustration remind me of what Dwayne said when he got eliminated in the playoffs as a solo act and said, I'm not doing it this way anymore. I'm not playing this way anymore. And then they went and formed the big 3. He's like, I'm not going out. Bam's got to be tired of this. There's too much effort being poured in to Bam, from Bam, everything's built around him. He's the untradeable one. I know he gets a bad rap from people who want him to be better. He's great. He's a really great basketball player. He can be frustrating. You can want him to be better, but Bam Adebayo would be valuable to any basketball team in the league. Not just the way that he plays, not just his attitude, the entire package. Anybody in the league would want that guy on their team. And only because what the standard has been here for 15 years is he now the scapegoat for you're not good enough. He's not, but Bam's okay if he yells out at the organization, hey, I need more help. Like this is a star. This is a star basketball player, not just an all-star, one of the 15 best one of the 20. I mean, where would you put him? Like, want him to be better all you want. Bam Adebayo, when Wemby says, hey, it's both sides of the game, it's not just offense. It's this guy's go bearish in his ability to be a defensive player of the year and guards all five. He's better than everybody but maybe Wemby. And he's better than everybody in the league as a defensive. You like the Thompsons? Who's your defensive player of the year?
No, I mean, well, it would be Wemby if it weren't for this stupid rule. But, yeah, no, I mean, Bam, absolutely. There's a reason, like, as you guys malign them, they're 2.5 back from the 5 seed. Yep. Like that, and that's because he's that good. He's good enough to raise everybody. First of all, he makes that team. We were talking about yesterday. Oh, they're only an average defensive team against elite offenses or elite teams.
5 straight games they've given up like 130 points. I mean, they're terrible against these good teams.
I don't know what team was going to shut down that last night. You can say that all you want.
They don't average 136 points, the Spurs.
The Spurs are really good.
I know.
But the Spurs are really good offensively, and I would say there are very few players in the league. At the end, they lost the Houston game. Hey, Bam, go guard the guy over there.
We've called the most unguardable guy in the league.
Who's 5th in the league in scoring history, 5th in the league just past Michael Jordan, and he can. Like, it's an absurd request to make of your center go guard Kevin Durant on the perimeter, and he did it and he does it. Like, but he's frustrated and worse because of how this guy cares. And you could speak to this, Cody. Worse. Everyone's blaming him for not being good enough. And I'm like, how good do you want him to be? He's overachieved, and he's a first round pick, but he's overachieved in every single way that overachievement can be overachieved.
He's a great player, and I don't think anybody doesn't think he's a great player. And when you score 83 points, by the way, it enables you to take a whole different level of leadership and commentary like that. And look, he's frustrated, but who wouldn't be? This is their 4th straight year in the play-in, which is barely the playoffs, and he should be frustrated. They got to build around him. It's the reason Jimmy Butler left, essentially, right? I mean, they didn't build around him.
The problem
enough.
with building around him is that you need to get someone better than him. It's
right.
not just building around him. The problem is that he could be the 16th best player in the world and still be a number 2.
If he's the 2nd best player on the team, then they have something, and they haven't been able to do that.
Yeah, like I'm watching last night, for example, you said, oh, the Spurs scored 136 points. Jeremy, I mean, what's your name? Roy.
I'm Roy.
Okay. How many of those baskets were because Heat offense failed, and then they just got an easy basket on the end? Like, it wasn't a whole lot of, oh, my God, we can't guard these guys, although obviously Wembanyama was doing some crazy things. But a lot of it was just the Heat offense isn't good. I've been saying it from the beginning of the year. You guys are like, oh, they're number 1. I'm like, this isn't a good offense, guys. This isn't a good offense. They struggle to generate points, and I think that part of that is, Dan, when you talk about people's frustrations with Bam, is because if you're our best player, why can't we count on you offensively like that every night?
Just the part that frustrates me when we say things like, yeah, they're only 2.5 games back of number 5 in the Eastern Conference. They just won 7 in a row. We were feeling really good about it. We're literally at the home stretch of the regular season, and they lost 5 in a row. Like, 5 losses in a row is really bad if you're a good team. And 2 of those 5 losses are by 25 last night and by 30
about to lose
to the Hornets.
About to lose 2 more, 2 to Cleveland.
Like, they're getting smoked in some of these games.
Well, the Charlotte game was without Bam, which we've just told you.
Well,
no, it's not whatever. He's by far their best player. They lost by 30 to a team that's played well. I'm looking at a team that's won 7 of its last 12. Has a couple of good wins in there.
Okay.
They beat Detroit. Right. They beat Houston on the road. They beat Charlotte on the road. No, but in all seriousness, when it comes to Bam and the frustration that you're talking about, that quote came because in the second quarter, he and Spo were going at it on the bench when Spo took him out because he was trying to match his minutes with Wemby's, and he was bringing in Kel'el Ware to go up against Luke Cornett. And so he was asked specifically about that sort of, going head-to-head. When Spo was asked about it, he's like, I love it. We go at each other. We love each other. When it was Bam, what he was saying is, yeah, I'm frustrated. I don't want to come out of the game. He's trying to save me from myself because I can't play every single minute, but I don't want to be in the effing play-in anymore. That's why I want to play.
Let's hear from Eric Spoelstra here before I transition to bigger winners in town. The University of Miami football team had its pro day, and I want to talk about that.
I love that about Bam. He and I are barking at each other. I mean, that's why I love him. I think he loves me. But even if he doesn't, I have to do what's best for the team. I don't want to just play him 24 straight minutes every half. If I'm forced to do it like in Houston, I'll do it, but this is the first half. I didn't think that was necessary. So some of the minutes, the majority of the minutes there would be the matchup, but it didn't have to be all the minutes, for us.
The idea that these guys like the conflict and that the conflict doesn't mean anything, what an interesting thing to live in a world where the coach can say and actually know, yeah, I love him and he loves me. It's an unusual thing. I don't think I can do that right now with the Dolphins. I could probably, I don't know if I could. Do you think I could do it with Paul Maurice? Where the relationship is actual love? Yeah, he's my coach, but he's my teacher, and he saw what I was when I got here, and I've grown at his side for 9 years. Let's explore for a second how many relationships in our market have what you would describe as actual love, because I do believe those two people actually love each other.
They do. You'd have to go to college outside of that to find that. Paul Maurice had a great quote the other day, as he often does. We're not at the end of our story. We're in the middle of it. And this season has been such a disappointment, but he's got the credibility. When he says that stuff, you trust him.
Also, I think Paul Maurice and his Panthers had that lovey-dovey vibe when they were winning 2 championships in a row. Everybody was talking about, the narrative was how great it is to go to work and these are our friends.
Called him the murderer
Okay,
of fun.
but I also apologized to his face,
Yes.
and then he told me that he loves me
That's
as well.
That's a big deal. Being able to admit that you're wrong, I'm proud of you.
Yeah, so we're good. That's my dog, Paul Maurice.
I thought being in love means never having to say you're sorry.
That's a good point.
How do you feel about how you said says there?
Okay, I thought no one was going to notice.
Mike, yesterday at Pro Day, we learned basically that the University of Miami is going to have 4 first-round picks in the draft, 2 of them edge rushers. There were a lot of scouts there.
Over 100. We haven't had that many scouts from the NFL since the University of Miami was winning natties. And Keontae Scott, I think, was the main headliner there. Although Carson Beck continues a very strong draft
because he
season.
ran so fast. For those who don't know, Keontae Scott clocked a 4.33.
4.33 official. There were unofficial reports that it was sub 4.3, which is insane. But Keontae Scott is one of those guys that you wish was around here a little bit longer because he was an absolute dog. It jumped off the screen. You could see it and feel it live. His impact was so immense for this team. And
I didn't hear anybody talking first-round pick, though, until yesterday.
Yeah, he was kind of fringe. I was insistent on it because, when they snap the ball, this guy's just absolute dynamite. And he plays a position that, with the analytics movement in the NFL, like having those guys on the inside, being able to blitz, it's such an immense skill set for defensive coordinators. Keontae Scott, I think, solidified first-round draft status. Mesidor, probably a first-round draft pick, too. So you got 4, which means Mario Cristobal, outside of the national championship win, he got to the final. He's done everything that he said he would do. I mean, 100 scouts at your pro day, 4 first-rounders. This is the start of a talent-rich run for the University of Miami.
It can be said without any equivocation, okay? If you buy your way into the top of the game and then do what Miami did last season and then 100 scouts are at your facility and you've got 4 first-round picks, it can be said that $90 million right now, if we were to stop right now, has been paid for. It has been a success. There is no disputing that Mario Cristobal has earned all of that money, and he will make it back for the University of Miami in spades. The question of, is UM back? No, that's not a question anymore. When the scouts are at this pro day, and then you become the next place that can be the pipeline the way his Alabama team was when he was the recruiter for Nick Saban, you got a pipeline to this. You've dropped this in the middle of Miami. Look, man, it's been a long time since I've seen that many scouts where you'd see the Dolphins wander over and they're like, we've got to see everything that's over here, everything, because that team might have in the weeds something in the 4th round, and that's the economy of football hasn't mattered like that at the University of Miami in a long time. Like, it wasn't that under Mark Richt when they got to number 1. When you're the place where the first-round picks go, that changes everything in terms of how easy recruiting becomes.
And the Miami Dolphins don't have a great history of drafting Hurricanes players, but they're going to have a very interesting choice this year picking 11th, because I think just about all of these 4 players we're talking about might be on the board at 11. One or maybe 2 will be gone, but they will have their choice of a top 4 cane at 11.
This is an exciting thing, and if you saw, Deion Sanders is now finding his players in Colorado. I'd argue that paid for itself too, but the way that this has all happened, Colorado is a million miles away from this. From all the scouts are at our facility, they come to us, and one of the guys runs something that people are saying might be under 4.3.
It was worth it from attention currency, but Mario Cristobal is worth it for both attention currency and currency, because with the revenue sharing built the way that it is, thankfully, FSU and Clemson made the sync that they did. Miami made a ton of money off of last year's football run. And, yeah, the arrow's pointing up. Today is the first day of spring football. It means Darian Mensah takes the field for the first time in orange and green. Exciting times, dude. I'm pumped.
You know about that currency?
It's a T-shirt.
This episode of the Dan Le Batard Show is presented by DraftKings. DraftKings, the crown is yours.
Greg, you're going to need your headsets in order to hear Dusty May and everything he has to say. He's going to join us here in a minute. But there's not been enough room in the first hour for Greg, who had an all-star Hall of Fame performance last week and got sick and now has returned. And the reason primarily is Zaz and the way that he fills up a room with a personality that ESPN Radio is now using all times, day and nights, because they love Zaslow, but it's going to his head in ways that make me uncomfortable. And I've also heard the audience on using the hockey penalties too much, so I'm going to start distributing other kinds of penalties, different ones. And because Zaz hasn't paid the fine bucket in several times now, even though he finally paid something last night, the fine bucket is something. I'm going to penalize him for not paying enough fines recently with something that scares him, and we'll get to Dusty May in a second.
Zaz, you know about paying that debt?
It says Zaslow $200 on the board there. You're out to lunch if you think I'm paying $200.
Okay, well, you're going to penalize. We're going to penalize you now in another way.
The Fine Bucket is presented by Moneyline. Download the Moneyline app or visit moneyline.com to learn more. Moneyline, make money easy.
No comedy in the world is greater than one of your friends slightly
I
mispronouncing
nailed that.
my
Well,
name.
see, Dusty May is there. He's waiting for us. He heard, and Chris got scared because we got a potential champion on our hands here. College basketball has been
Former
mattering
Owl.
locally, and it's at least in part because of the way this guy helped build it
Yes.
locally over the last 3 years. But Zaslow, before we go, I don't know how Dusty May distributes discipline. This is the way that I'm going to do it. He's got a great fear here of these driverless cars. You've got to pay $5 fine, and you got to go outside and take the driverless car somewhere.
Oh,
And
we're doing the Waymo
Like now?
yeah, right now. Go now. Go get a Waymo. They're all over the place in Miami.
There's no human driver.
Zaslow doesn't trust them. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Do you trust driverless cars? Yes,
Man.
yes or no? But
Waymo.
so
Tell him to speed up.
five.
Tell the driver to speed up when you get in there.
We'll see how these cars work. Send a cameraman with them. Get out of here, Zaslow. Dusty, thank you for joining us. Sorry for wasting some of your precious time. It's a busy time, and we appreciate you rejoining us. How do you punish players, and what do you think of that as somebody who's not paying fines?
Well, we've contemplated the fine system and decided to stay away from it. Before we ran guys, and then we got a memo from the Big Ten office because of some, I guess, football instances that we're not allowed to punish guys through running anymore. So we just basically asked them to follow an honor system and hold each other accountable with our old with our old rule violation running amounts. So we have a team that's been pretty compliant, though.
No, you didn't hear what he said. Amin is shocked behind you. Chris is saying, sprints. They've taken sprints from you, Coach.
What?
They've taken sprints from you? You can't run them extra sprints?
Correct, not for punishment. We can run them for sprints if we think they need extra conditioning. So there have been times when you've heard coaches say, you know what, guys, I think we look like we're not quite in good enough shape, or this player who happened to be late for a bus has to run to get in better shape, but not for punishment.
Dusty, you snuck a few punishments in there and not told anybody, right? You just that was just a hard practice that day, and everybody knew it's Bob's fault.
Well, if we could go back and talk about the driverless cars, I trust those cars much more than I trust the drivers back in Boca.
Oh, yeah, good call.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. What do you trust more, the driverless car or a driver in Boca? What do you miss and what don't you miss about South Florida?
Well, I miss the sun and the blue skies the most. I don't miss the summer heat. I didn't realize how hot it was until I moved up here in the summers and how nice and mild it is.
How did this go compared to how you thought it was going to go?
We didn't think it would happen this quickly. We thought it would be a little bit longer of a rebuild, but we hit the right guys in year one, which allowed us to, I guess, have an identity and have something to sell going forward. And now we have one of the most talented teams in the country.
Dusty, I'm not sure how honest the coach is allowed to be, but when you're coaching FAU, foul out on the prowl back in 2023 to the Final Four.
That's embarrassing what you just did there.
No, foul out on the prowl is a compliment because the Owls.
He just wanted to say foul out.
Yeah, but it's embarrassing.
And Dusty can back up. It's a known rallying cry
Yeah,
for
foul
FAU.
out on the prowl.
You can get to the rest of your question, but
Okay,
it was
thank you.
embarrassing that you just sang the coach's
No
song.
rallying cry.
Okay. Dusty, when you're in the Final Four in 23, you have to be thinking to yourself, okay, I'm not long for this job. I have earned a promotion. I'm going into a blue blood program right now. Is that correct? I mean, how honest can you be there?
No, actually, at that moment when our guys all decided to stay, between that and my oldest son was going into a senior year of high school, we decided that unless it was the Lakers, we weren't leaving FAU under any circumstances. And we also wanted to give it a year to see what we could kind of become. You know, you see some of these low mid-major programs evolve quickly and become almost high major programs with resources and facilities. And so we wanted to see how quickly we could grow it. And we realized it was going to take a long time to get it to where it needs to be to sustain like high level success, top 20 type success. And then there were just a few jobs that came open the following year that we thought would be too tough to pass up, and Michigan was one of them.
Greg, I'm sorry to do this to you, but your son just spit in my ear some producing criticism of that.
I mean, this guy's
question.
in the Sweet 16 with Michigan. We're asking him something about like 3 years ago.
He's the Big Ten Coach of the Year. He's the National Coach of the Year, and you're asking him about Boca.
Hey, you left FAU. It's like, yeah, 2 years ago.
That's the foundation of Dusty May's
You just
success.
wanted to say foul out on the prowl.
Foul out on the prowl unnecessarily. Like you're.
The echoes of Boca Raton shine in Michigan today.
He's right about that.
Dusty knows. Look at the smile on his face. He knows.
Dusty, was this right before you lose in the conference tournament at the end? I was willing to make the argument that you just got done with the greatest regular season and tournament postseason of Michigan's career. That in school history, there had never been a run like this over the regular season, but you lost the last game. What happened?
Purdue played really, really well. The style of play, the type of game wasn't conducive for us. And we were in foul trouble, and they just dominated us in the paint. And that's something that hasn't happened this year. But Purdue's playing at a different level now. You know, they were the preseason #1 team in the country. They have 2 first-team, preseason first-team All-American players. And they just hadn't found their stride. And just recently, they've really, as Miami and some other teams saw in the tournament, they're playing at a high level right now.
Hey, Coach, you guys have Alabama coming up here in the Sweet 16. How much of your time is spent prepping for the opponent versus just internal kind of working on your own stuff?
Probably 60-40 with Alabama. They're a tough cover. We match up really well in some areas, but also there's some things they could exploit if we don't do a better job than we have at times this year, as far as defending the 5-out, defending the 3-point shot. But so we'll spend 70% of our time probably working on the Alabama scouting, and 30% just cleaning up some stuff, and then adding a few wrinkles here and there. We still feel like we have because our team's only been together 1 year, we still have some things we can figure out and add and improve on, even in a short term.
Can you give us some guidance here on the business of what you do and how much it's changed? I want to play some sound for you of Kelvin Sampson, who's pretty good at what he does, and his team is really good, saying how recruiting is right now.
We have a very poor athletic department. We're poor. You know, we were poor when I got here, and we're still poor. We probably have the lowest budget of anybody in Power 4, you know, and you know, the way our recruiting is going, we have to stop at some point because we don't have enough money to keep bringing in really good players. And that's not easy for us to do. You know, people ask about recruiting. You know, teams that have the best recruiting classes usually have the most money. That's the way it is today.
Is it, Dusty?
To an extent, yes. Now, though, if you lose, it's simply because you don't have enough money, and that's it's the tired song. Everyone at Power 5 has a reasonable amount of money. There are some that have a lot, and it's cyclical. Meaning if we get our donors to provide enough NIL for us to have a really good team, and we underperform or we don't spend the money wisely, then the money will be gone. I think that's the hardest part, that you never really know exactly what you're going to have. In year 1 at Michigan, we had, I'm certain we were much lower than them in NIL spending. This year, we got to the point where we're competitive with just about anyone. We're obviously not near the top, but we're competitive and where we felt like we needed to be. Our athletic department is not broke. We have, I think there are a few schools that have a lot of fundraising going on, but we also are a school that tries to be good at everything. And so that's tough as well. We have obviously a football powerhouse. Our women's basketball team is one of the best teams in the country. Our hockey team is #1 in the country.
Dusty, I'm sorry, I've got to stop you. Imperfectly and politically incorrect to do so as soon as you start talking about the women, but we've got a live report here. Zaz is on the street in the Whimo. This driverless car does not wait for anybody. Zaslow, give Dusty some play-by-play here. Hurry up. I see it behind you.
Coach, I don't know if you've ever been in one of these cars, these Whimos. You know how you could tell that it's yours? It's because it's the car that doesn't have a driver. I mean, I'm about to get in this car with no driver. I'm a little bit nervous because this is not my style. I don't like this. but we're going to go to South Beach.
Zaslow,
See
how
it
did you
goes. No
decide this
driver.
morning to dress for work the way you're dressed with the backward cap, a T-shirt? You're embarrassing. You look like radio. You can't be more professional than this.
I don't think I'm embarrassing myself. I'm living my life. What's wrong with what I'm doing here? What's the matter with you?
Get in the car. Go ahead. You're wasting Dusty's time, and he doesn't have very much. Do you have a question for him, or we're just going to be amid your fear because he doesn't want to actually do this?
Good shot here.
Dusty, do you have any questions for him?
Or the Waymo driver?
No, I'm excited to watch.
Okay, we'll sit here for a second with the Big Ten Coach of the Year and National Coach of the Year. Zaslow, can you go over to where they filmed the Scarface buzzsaw scene in the shower? Can you go? Where are you going? Is that you can go wherever you want?
I'm glad you said. Yeah. Like I told the driver to take me to South Beach, to take me to Ocean Drive. And so if you want me to go to the location of the chainsaw scene in the bathtub with Scarface, we could do that. So,
Okay.
driver, let's hit it.
All right, let's hit it. I've always wanted to say that to my driver. Do you want to play, Dusty, a game of may or may not, where I ask you questions and you tell me whether or not, while Zaslow gives us some play-by-play? Oh, look, we got music for may or may not.
Just sweeten the pot.
Yeah, it makes it so much better.
I mean,
here.
he could decide to. Or not, though.
It's public domain music. All right, he's going to decide to do it.
A yes and kind of guy.
May or I may not put pineapples on pizza.
Am I answered?
Yes.
I may.
Wow.
Ooh, okay. Look at
Good.
that. A shocking admission. Terrible question.
But he's saying he may, so he still might not.
He's saying no. That's a confirmation. A may is a yes in
It's
this
all
game.
about yes.
Do you not understand the game? A may, Coach. You certainly understand the game, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. He's got no problem even with my first question.
Mm-hmm. Chris, your conditioning looks like it's lacking.
We need some sprints in here ASAP.
May I or may not?
Oh,
Christ,
boy.
man.
We'll get it together. We'll rally.
May I or may I not put mustard on a hot dog?
May.
Of course.
How about ketchup? That's far more controversial.
May not.
Ooh, there you go.
But he's
Roman
still,
right there.
might.
My man.
No,
Roman.
No, that's not
Overall.
the way
He's
this
around
May
that borscht
means
belt.
yes, may not means no. I'm Roy. He's
He
Siegfried.
seems unsure.
That's that borscht belt.
May.
I'm fascinated by the Waymo.
Yeah, so am I. Zaslow, give the coach an update here.
Zaslow, do you feel safe?
I don't know. I mean, I got my seatbelt on, so what's the worst that could happen, right?
It's a driverless
Don't
car.
answer
It
that.
can drive into the sea, and now you're trapped with your seatbelt. What do you mean? What's the worst thing that can happen? A drowning death at the bottom of the Miami Beach.
Right. Take a left turn into a building.
The worst thing that can happen is it takes you to the CVS in the Bahamas.
So strange.
This is not awkward at all. It's
Thank you,
going well.
Speedo.
Another question, Dano.
Dusty asked for me to throw it to Jazz, and I let him executive produce the segment. He's a leader. He's a number one seed. He deserves my respect if he wants to grab the control.
Still in the tournament.
Technically,
Oh.
he threw it to Zaz himself.
May or may I not
Why do you keep...
shampoo in the pool?
May.
Yeah! Yeah! That's my man.
Took his time with it, too.
Dusty May. A pride of Boca right on.
Foul out
was a
on the
coach.
prowl.
Foul out on the prowl.
Your son was singing it to you. He was just delighted with his own. He was listening to the sound in his head.
Wonderful.
Hey, Zaslow, you're passing my condo in about 2 minutes. Straight ahead to the left.
Oh, really?
Let's not dox him. Zaz, can you tell us how you're feeling right now? Are you afraid?
I have a little bit of butterflies in my stomach. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I don't know, like the driver. Well, I guess I shouldn't say driver. There's no driver. It's just I don't know. It's rather jarring, man. Like the three of us were here, and there's
Trippy.
no driver.
Oh, Jaguar.
Is it a Jag?
It is a Jag. They're all Jags.
Nice car.
I didn't know that.
Very nice wheels.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Did you know the Whimo was a Jag? Oh, there's the Freedom Tower over on the left. All right, so it's going. I found these things to be, when I've watched them, more responsible than most at right turns and whatnot. I don't know how these things don't get short-circuited, though. Wouldn't that be the fear?
Yeah, let's not talk about that while I'm in the Waymo. Thank you.
All right. May or may I not pee in the pool, Dusty May?
May not pee in the pool.
Okay, but because you're going to shampoo in it. You don't want urine
It's a
in
classy
your hair.
coach.
I bathe in the pool.
Dusty, good luck. We know you have to get out of here. We will have you back on, though, to play May or May I Not and whatever else. If you win the championship, you'll make this deal with us now. We miss you.
Done. I look forward to it, guys. I appreciate you having me on.
Thanks,
Enjoy that
sir.
sun.
Thank you.
Okay.
See you, Coach.
You guys.
He was good.
Bye.
This is why we can't book guests. Because you guys bring this guy in. He's having a great season. He's coach of the year. And we spent half of it just talking about Zaz. Which, by the way, that Waymo's making laps around the building. That whole time, all they did was just do one big-ass lap around the block.
Nobody wanted that segment to work out more than Dusty May.
I will take whatever blame there is to give. I haven't felt quite like this since we were trying to do a cigarette boat at the same time that a Daily Show correspondent was on with us and got mad at us.
Ronnie Cheng.
Yeah, he got
Look
mad
at
at us.
the driver, my Waymo driver, he stopped for people to cross the crosswalk.
How dare he?
How does it know not to run people over?
Yeah, it's the cameras, it's the technology, and
magic.
And so far there haven't been any incidents yet, right? I know with some of these robots locally, there's been a bright line hit. One of them, I don't know if it was a Whimo or one of these food carts, or I don't know, but Whimo hasn't had any issues. But that would be the fear.
And here's also the thing, Dan. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but people, they're staring at us.
And should.
Yeah, because you don't have a driver. Because there's not a driver.
And there's a camera person.
Literally everyone we pass by is just staring at us.
Is anything talking to you, telling you anything, asking you anything? Does the computer ask you anything?
No, we just told it where we want to go, and it's taking me. I kind of like that because when I get into Ubers, I hate having to talk to the driver. I'm not here to make friends.
Well,
Just
most
take
of
me
them
where I
here
wanna
don't
go.
speak.
So that part-
Most of them here don't even speak English. Like most of them.
Okay, but I travel a lot, Dan.
That's
I'm
right.
not sure if you're aware of that. So I take Uber often, and I don't care about talking to the drivers. Again, I'm not trying to make friends. I'm trying to make money.
You're
and
saying
so
what
I kinda
you're
like this.
what you're saying is it's easy. This is easier than Uber. You just told the thing to take you somewhere, and you don't have to explain it to someone who doesn't speak English.
Well, I'm trading off. I guess I'm making a trade here. I'm trading away potential safety for comfort level.
Zaz, how's the temperature in there? Like, what if you get cold? Can you control the air?
What's the matter with you? You don't think there are buttons here to control the AC?
I don't know. I mean, just...
Hold on. You're not going to call Chris's question dumb when you said, how does it know not to run people over? You think they would have a car on the street that
That's
just
a good
runs people over
question.
left and right?
Yeah, having trouble understanding how a car that doesn't have a driver knows to not run people over is a valid concern.
Zaslow, hop in the front seat and take the wheel. Make a statement for human empowerment.
I'm the captain now.
This is how you prove you're not a cuck.
Zaz, you saying potential safety.
Don't ever say that.
Afraid to do it.
I'm going to guess that Waymos are safer than South Florida drivers. Like, I don't think that's even up for dispute.
Waymo safer.
Waymo,
I got to be honest with
just
you here. This Waymo is taking, the worst route.
Well, why did it go in circles around the Freedom Tower? Is that true? Was that the accusation that was made? Was it inefficient? Is it not going directly to where it is you need to go?
Right now, it's a little bit inefficient. It's one of those deals where, when you put in the GPS or in the Waze and it tells you, the shortest way to get somewhere, but it's like you're taking a million back roads. Just get on the damn highway, get me to where I'm going. That's what I feel like,
Tell the car to start doing screeching tires. I want to hear Spin Donuts.
Greg, you sound like an old drunk.
That's what you want me to do?
Greg, you sound like an old drunk.
I want to hear Spin Donuts.
Greg, it's the most...
It's redundant, by the way.
Can I tell you guys what just happened?
It's a synonym.
Let me explain to you guys what just happened so you understand this.
That was wild.
No, Chris, I'm going to explain to you the surreal show we do with your dad and what just happened because I don't think you noticed. Because Zaz is in a car far away that has a driverless wheel, he is shouting at Zaz as you would if you were shouting at him outside. It's the closest he's been to the microphone in 18 months because he thinks Zaz can hear him better if he shouts it at him straight into the microphone because he's talking to the computer screen because he thinks he's shouting into the future. That's what just happened with your father. He's never been that engaged with the microphone in 21 years doing this with him.
Thank you.
Can we also talk about when the coach was talking about, being down in South Florida and everything, and Chris is like, say foul out on the prowl.
When he was pro shampoo, I'm like, I fed my dad, say foul out on the prowl. 14 times. My dad's just like, yeah.
Yeah, can we I get that, just get that 45 seconds for me, and please show me, if you could, tell me there was a camera on Chris Cody as he threw papers in the air because he tried to give his dad an alley-oop, easiest joke in the world 7 times, but his dad was strutting around the wrestling ring, just enjoying still
so
that he got to sing foul out on the prowl and ask his shitty FAU question.
And then I'm like, say it! And he finally said it, and it was just, God.
For the listeners who cannot see what happened, if you've ever watched the Seinfeld episode where George tells Jerry, hey, if someone calls, answer Vandalay Industries, and then Kramer answers, and George is running out the bathroom with his pants around his legs, talking about, it's Vandalay Industries! Say Vandalay Industries! That's exactly the energy Chris had. Say, foul out on the brow! Say foul out on the brow!
Please get me that video. I want to watch all of that again together. I believe, though, this Waymo's got an issue because it's taking Zaz way too long to go 4 blocks. Are they going in circles
you see, why
over
would
there?
the Waymo get in the lane that has the cones because of construction?
Zaz,
cutting the line. I like
Zaz,
that.
You are 3 blocks from the hotel, Zaz. You haven't moved anywhere.
He definitely did a circle.
No, it had to be more than a circle. This is the entire time Zaz has been on, he has gone now 3 blocks, and he's been moving the entire time.
The light's out here.
I'm not even past... the really ugly arches?
It is confused.
Yeah.
Zaz,
St. Louis.
It's confused here. Is that a green light or is that no light?
The light's out. He should be in that right lane turning to the beach.
Right. Oh, no.
It's confused.
You're just going to wait forever.
It's confused. You're just going to The light is...
and there's it says on the screen here, our team is working to get you moving.
Yeah.
Come on.
What team? There's no
I'm
team
sitting
there.
in the middle of the road
Starting a
here.
traffic jam.
I can see you.
Wait a
Panda this
minute.
traffic.
The computers, Zaz, the computers have not accounted for Miami being Miami. Of course.
Oh, he's moving now.
Of
Okay.
course there would be a
Now
light.
we're getting on the highway.
All
See,
right.
now I'm concerned. Now I don't feel safe.
Okay, no, it got you out of... That's a bigger jam.
Oh, we're getting on the highway now.
Zaz, that was a bigger
Oh, boy.
jam than any of the other jams. Miami being Miami and just a light being out at an important intersection, that could have short-circuited the thing because there were cars moving past you. Zaz, you should be there already. You should be there. You're 5 minutes.
We were just sitting in the middle of the road.
The entire time we were on the air wasting Dusty May's time. You've been going in circles. You've been doing this for the better part of 30 minutes, have you not? You've gone 3 blocks.
Yeah, I've been in this car for about an hour and a half now.
Daz looks
It
so
says
scared.
that we are 12 minutes away.
Yeah, it's a straight shot. You will go past. This is lovely here. This is a lovely
He's holding
area.
on to that door with
Yes.
his left hand so hard.
All right, Zaz, how do you feel about how everything's going? Because you're now going, are you going exactly 55 miles an hour? That's a 40 zone,
45.
actually. That's a 40 zone, I think.
Yeah, we're going 45 right now. We're just approaching the tunnel now, so we're getting close to South Beach.
How uncomfortable is Fuentes? Because you said there were 3 people in the car with you. It looks like you're alone. The whole thing really feels like it's from the future.
Yeah, well, I'm not alone. All right, I got Fuentes next to me. He's looking like the seat's a little tight for him, though, to be perfectly honest. He's a little scrunched up together. I'm comfortable, though. That's what's important.
Okay. Yeah, it's a little tight. How is Rose doing? Is Rose?
Oh, that's Rose?
It seems like it's uncomfortable.
I don't know. She's in the other room there. Tell her I say hey.
Oh, man.
We have our Whimo camera person there. It's actually not a real person. It's just a camera person.
All right, so Zaz, you're pretty close, and you're going to the
There's
place
Rose.
where Scarface. I told this story earlier, Greg. There's a famous strip on Ocean Drive. We were talking about Miami Vice yesterday. This used to be an entirely dead area, and then Scarface and Miami Vice gave the city a certain image nationally. And on Ocean Drive is the little hotel where the Colombian drug lords tried to chainsaw Al Pacino and his friend, and it was going to be an X-rated movie. And they made the arguments to Hollywood, no, we don't see buzzsaw touch flesh, and so you're going to that hotel now, which, of course, is a pharmacy, correct? It's now a pharmacy?
Yeah, it's a CVS.
All right. So
That's the one near the Fifth Street Gym, right?
Yeah, it's relatively close. But you remember the guy staggered into the street? Like it was considered the most graphic to turn an R movie into an X-rated movie was that scene, the buzzsaw scene in it. That stuff was happening in Miami back then. Greg, you grew up in that Miami.
Well, I grew up in that Broward County, about 30 miles north.
I'm saying in the 80s, you raised your kids in the Miami where that could happen in a local hotel room.
For sure.
The drug wars allowed, there were people in strip malls in the street gunned down because it was the wild, wild west.
Yeah, every table had a mountain of chalk on it, except it wasn't chalk.
So that is where Zaz is going. Zaz, you tell us when you're there and we'll check back in with you, okay?
We're passing Star Island right now, Dan.
Yeah, so that's the richest stuff we've got over there. Bezos and everybody else is trying to buy everything for $150 million plus.
I got 5 on it.
What does that mean?
$5.
Yeah, it means I'm getting in on it.
Greg, can you
Marijuana
explain?
reference.
Can you explain yourself? Zaz would have been so frustrated with you if he had seen your son. This has never happened here before. Have you guys seen this happen before? Where Chris Cody gets so frustrated with his father that because he was yelling a joke at him that only works if he's the one that makes it. The rest of us making it doesn't make it funny. He's got to make the joke. But he's too busy dancing to, oh, coach like my foul owl on the prowl.
On the prowl.
That he didn't hear, that he just was. It's very frustrating. I mean,
delightful.
I mean, Coach could be studying tape right now. Instead, he's answering foul owl on the prowl questions from
I
Greg.
know. While Zaslow's driving in a car being driven by the Invisible Man from a Ralph Ellison novel.
All right, Greg.
I don't know what those two have to do with each other.
Greg, you haven't been very good today, okay? And I want to play for you an example of this. You were very good. You were very good last week, but you just made your son. Has he ever thrown his papers up in the air before? He had a big stack of papers. I have no idea from the way that he does this show that he had done anything in the way of planning or organization. So to see him back there throw 7 papers up in the air when I don't think he reads, and he proved at the start of that segment that he doesn't know how to. Him throwing 7 papers up in the air, frustrated because his dad wouldn't take the easiest joke. I've never seen it before.
Dan, desperation. Like he was so desperate for it to happen, for that plane to land, and instead Greg Cody just careened into the ocean.
All right, so
Because he was like hearing me say it and like celebrating like I was saying it on air. It's like, no, just for you. Say it.
So just to show people behind the curtain, Zaz, we'll get back to you in a second. We evidently have a replay. And Greg, I want you to see it so that you can see, because I haven't seen it. I just lived it. I felt it. And I felt for your son. He's in charge of the thing back there. It flies off the rails sometimes. It offends the celebrities. The show's hard to book because of stupidities like that.
The thing back there.
I actually am presuming.
Yeah, it's hard to book because of other people.
I'm presuming when doing that, and I have a blind spot here, admittedly, because I can't wait to hear from Kugler at the end of this. I have a blind spot about, I totally assumed from the very start, because Dusty May was a friend of the show the last time, and because he's local, and because he understands that he knows what our show is, that he was in on the joke. I presumed it without asking him.
Well, he was in on the attempt at a joke. To say joke suggests that we landed it.
I imagine he leaves that kind of just shaking his head, smiling, and then like the Michigan program's like, well, that was a waste of time.
Oh, Dan, still not much has changed down there, huh? All right. What time's the Citrus Bowl against Bama?
because people wanted a serious interview.
I loved it.
No, but
No, it had potential, no doubt. We fell short, but I thought it was fine.
Well, but no. I want to approach this from a content standpoint, and I want to ask Amin and I want to ask Greg Cody if we're going to dissect this autopsy.
What about Siegfried?
I'm not interested right now in the opinions of Siegfried or Roy. What I am interested in, before we get back to the Whimo, is when we do that interview with Dusty May. You guys know, I mean, we've done this enough, right? 21 years. I don't love talking to the coaches because they come on and they say their things and it's sales and it's platitudes and people do eat it up. They gobble it up, especially if you're a coach of the moment. But coaching interviews, to me, I hate them. I hate them.
God, I hope he's not listening right now.
No, but not his. No, so he comes on. Look, this is a newsworthy guest. Last year I turned down Kelvin Sampson. I got in trouble with Kugler on that one just because the coach interviews are maddening to me. They're professional salesmen, all of them.
Kelvin Sampson could have been on our show talking about we're poor. That could have been our sound.
That's correct.
It's your fault.
And so this is the time of the year for them. And furthermore, because I grew up in a market, and you guys know this, where in South Florida, all they did this time of year.
You grew up in a market?
That tracks, given what we're seeing.
Fruit aisle.
Birth on aisle 8.
Food aisle?
Oh, boy.
Food aisle.
One of them food aisles.
I think he said fruit.
He said fruit. Okay.
Right.
Still, I mean,
Popular aisle in a market.
produce is generally not an aisle. It's like a section, but whatever.
Yeah, the BOGO.
Thank you.
In this market, where for 20 years the University of Miami basketball program was very frustrated because it couldn't get actually into the game with Leonard Hamilton and a million other coaches. The way that South Florida sports radio celebrated this time of year is getting all the Seth Greenbergs of the room, all the salesmen in one room, and they would get on and do long shows for days with the coaches selling their sports to people. And then Dick Vitale comes on with us and gets furious because we say, hey, we think Pitino cheats. We think.
Okay, come on, Dan.
Come on, Dan, and hangs up on our show. That's correct. Because you're not in on the sales, guys? You're not. I thought we were all selling this together. You think Dusty May comes on our show and expects to be able to sell Michigan to the nation? You think like with I'm going to do the platitudes versus I'm going to show my personality?
I think we're having a different conversation. For the record, Dusty was great.
He was awesome.
He was the best thing about that
Come
segment.
back, Coach, please.
Yeah, you're talking now about coaching interviews in a vacuum, and I think Dusty May was very playful and very nice with his time.
But
there.
what I'm asking Amin and Greg is, do you want me to get the sound on, and this is how we're going to play against Alabama?
No, I mean, not necessarily. I think that the idea is that we're going to push the envelope within reason and hope that they play along. And sometimes they do like Dusty did. And I think you turning down Kelvin Sampson was a massive mistake because he's a guy, he's reached the age where it's like, I don't care anymore. I'm not going to do the political thing. I'm just going to say what I feel. And he could have been a great quote. I think you need to stop judging books by their covers.
I personally think we played it right because there's a million other places you can go to hear Dusty May analyze Alabama.
So let's ask him about leaving FAU. Good call.
Exactly. That's right. Because he volunteered it by saying he misses Boca right on.
Hold on. Zaz is on Ocean Drive now. I can see that familiar strip of land. It is one of the most famous. And, oh, look, he's pulling up right now.
Wow.
All right.
Everyone is staring at us, Dan. There was a woman. She physically grabbed her child's head and manually turned it around to look at the freak show.
Yeah, she said, look at that guy with a big head.
It appears as though you've stopped in a valet lane, though, which is an odd place for a drop-off and probably confuses
All right, give me a moment. I got to get out of the car.
All right, so, but is it telling you to get out of the car or take us through here, Zaz?
I'm very aware of us being at the location I asked it to take us, so I know to get out.
Okay, but is someone around you telling you to get out just for a second? Because is the car then leaving, or are you coming back on the car as well? How does this work?
The car says, please exit now.
Wow, with an exclamation point?
Okay, so before you do that, good follow-up, Greg. Is there an exclamation point?
That guy right there is taking a picture of us. It's not creepy at all.
Are you going to come back in that car, or as you get out, is the car then going to abandon you? Are we going to televise your return?
I think his car is going to dip.
Okay. Get out then and show us where the famous Scarface scene happened. Take us on a little tour, would you please?
Yep. Give me a second.
All right, hitchhike back.
Yeah, he can just Uber. Or take a taxi. Why would you have him hitchhike?
It'd be funny.
Taxi?
I'm with you, Greg. It
You
would
could.
be funny.
There are still taxis. There are still
See,
taxis.
let's just get him with
the
his thumb
taxi's
out.
struggling.
Like a yellow cab?
Roy, it's fair to say. The taxi has to feel very threatened right now by what we just televised. The taxi was already hurt because of Uber, but there still are taxis on the beach. Yes.
Shocking to me.
And so here goes. All right. So here the car's going to leave. Goodbye, Whimo. Thank you for all the help. Zaslow, hold on just a second before you go up there. Can I get a replay of Chris Cody just throwing the papers up in the air, please? May or may I not?
Why do you keep
shampoo in the pool?
May.
Yeah!
So right here, I start feeding him.
That's my man.
He's feeding
Took
you
a
right
sign
here.
with it, too.
Dusty May.
He's feeding
Pride
you.
of
Say it.
Boca right
Oh,
on.
like, say it. Oh, that's why he had his Boca right on. Look, he's on the prowl. That's what it was. No, that's what it was. I missed it the first time. We don't got the papers being thrown up in the air. No, he wanted to shout Boca right on, and he was just like feeling the top of humor. Like, that's all it was. Greg was really pleased with himself there.
I'm an owl. I'm proud of my alum. He's gone on to do great things with the springboard of Boca right on.
Zaz, give us the play-by-play of what you're doing right now.
He's not an alum. He didn't go to FAU, Dusty May.
Well, I did. I went to FAU for both of
What
us.
happened to you not being a fan and being a journalist and all that stuff?
What happened to you not banging a drum at a Panthers game? I went to. You never played for the Panthers. I went to FAU. It's where I met my
Great
wife.
point.
Christopher would not be here if I hadn't gone to FAU.
He's right about that.
He got your ass.
He
Hey,
got you.
it's like he's been waiting on that one all day long. Just say something. Say something. You know what that is? That's another Greg Cody. First down.
Straight out of Scarface.
That's a great car right there. Yeah.
Dan, it's hot outside.
Baby crying?
Yeah, we got our last, I think, good night and good morning of the year in terms of weather. I think the rest of the way it's going to be baking sun the rest of the way. This is a long walk for you. Why did the car leave you so far away from where it is that you're going? I thought it was leaving you right in the front. I think, are you in the right place?
Yeah, I'm in the right place. I recognize this area. See, here's the CVS. I'm literally next to the CVS now.
Start jogging. Get a little exercise in.
But that is a good point. Like, it dropped us off like a block away.
It's a great place for you to have
Stupid
shortness
driver.
of breath.
Run
Greg.
sprints.
Are you tired? Are you winded?
here
You're
it is.
sore from yesterday's streak
No,
hockey.
I'm tired. I'm walking. What's the matter with you? All right. Right here. See it?
Oh, look at
This
this.
is the staircase that was used in the filming of Scarface, starring Al Pacino and Stephen Bauer and Mary Elizabeth Mastrantonio and Michelle Pfeiffer. This scene depicts the Chainsaw Massacre and is a world-famous Hollywood landmark. What a movie.
Why is the number 1983 in quotes? It says the filming of the, quote, 1983, unquote, classic movie, Scarface.
It's a fair question.
Yeah, we don't do English great in this town. That
Well,
movie,
neither do you. You kept asking, may I, you, or may
God,
not.
that was
Kept throwing the I in there.
You're a
that
writer.
was so good. All right, Zaz, take us up to the hotel room or the motel room, I guess. It was the first one on the right, I think.
But look here. Look with the camera. It's chained off.
Hop it.
Ah, that's an easy
Apparently,
chain to
we
get
are
around.
not allowed to go to the site.
Oh, but you can jump over
Do
that.
the limbo.
Okay.
You don't, or the limbo. Yeah.
Or under. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, scofflaw.
Heady play to not
right, I'm
put your
going.
leg over.
Yeah, it's Miami.
You're now trespassing.
Nothing
Yeah,
bad
he
would
is.
happen there.
Now Danny's
Well, what are they
climbing
gonna
over
do?
the.
It's
They're going to
just-
do the same
get the
thing
shot
that
of
the
Danny
jury
B
do to people
climbing
do.
over the-
Nothing.
They could buzzsaw you. Would you recreate the scene for us? Do you think you can stagger down the staircase and fall down in Ocean Drive as if you've been, what? Didn't Tony, what did he do? Did he shoot him a couple of times? Or did he? There was some reason that the guy with the chainsaw was staggering down the stairs and overacting the hell out of it.
Dan, do you know that the restaurant right next to here, right there, it's called Montana's?
I did not know that. Tony Montana's? Good call.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Right in there. That's where Tony was about to get chainsawed.
This is great podcasting.
He escaped, though.
Okay. Amin just whispered to me, "This is great podcasting." It really
was
doesn't.
on the air.
It really doesn't work. Oh, I thought.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Good hour from you, Dano.
Let's call a timeout.
Coming up today on the Alley Oop, we discuss all the March Madness and all its glory, as well as, is it okay to get some chicken tenders in your uniform right after the game?
Right after the L. And guess what, Juju? I also want us to talk about, what did Goga Batat say to Luka Doncic that got him his 16th technical? And what do we do about it? Lock in.
Lock in.
Best F1 minutes with Jessica Spatano.
After a blank space on the calendar, Formula One is back in Azerbaijan. Despite its reputation for tight corners and narrow roads, F1 is putting a sprint race in Baku. On Saturday, Charles Leclerc is fearless in pole position as the sprint begins. But at the start, London boy George Russell delivers some karma to Max Verstappen, making him a move to push him wide. Max is red, but George says, "Don't blame me." Number 22, Yuki Tsunoda, clips the wall and loses a tire after just 2 laps. At the restart, Sergio Perez has a lead with 5 laps left. It's time to go. Checo wins the sprint race, but Max and George have bad blood when the race ends. You guys see what I'm doing yet? Will there be vigilante shit on Sunday?
This
Max,
is amazing.
You need to calm down because it's lights out and away we go in Baku. Sparks fly, and Verstappen is driving like he's in a getaway car and pulls out into the lead. Long story short, Nick DeVries has a glitch and a safety car ensues. Perez is in the lead after a slew of pit stops, but he's not out of the woods yet. The one driver, Max Verstappen, has speed, but that's when Sergio Perez says, "Bye-bye, baby." As the race ends, Esteban Ocon goes into the pit, but the mastermind race organizers have let press onto the treacherous pit lane. This is why we can't have nice things. 7-time champion Lewis Hamilton finishes 6th. The last great American dynasty, Haas, finishes out of the points, but today was a fairy tale for Sergio Perez. Verstappen finishes in 2nd, which is better than revenge. 1-2 for Red Bull is nothing new. They don't have champagne problems on the podium, but the anti-hero Max Verstappen is only ahead in the Drivers' Championship by 6 points. Fernando Alonso and Taylor Swift rumors are swirling. Long live Formula One. Max Verstappen has won the Drivers' Championship, but we still have 4 races to go. In Austin, Daniel Ricciardo rides a horse named Horsey McHorseface into the paddock. Zach Brown accuses Christian Horner of cheating, and Fort Lauderdale's own Logan Sargent will join Williams in 2023. During quali, Carlos Sainz takes the fastest lap while his teammate Charles Leclerc takes a grid penalty. Martin Brundle gets snubbed by Brad Pitt. Tim Apple doesn't know how to wave a flag. 440,000 people are at the Circuit of the Americas. It's lights out and away we go. On turn 1, Max Verstappen gets ahead of Carlos Sainz, and Sainz tries to recover, but gets hit by George Russell. The Spaniard is out of the race before the 1 lap is even over, and Russell takes a 5-second penalty. Valtteri Bottas' race ends early, and a safety car helps out Charles Leclerc for once. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll get in a massive collision, and debris is everywhere. Lewis Hamilton, on hard tires, leads the race with 10 laps to go, but the Flying Dutchman cannot be beat this year. It's Verstappen, Hamilton, and Leclerc. Sebastian Vettel battles to the finish in his final USGP. Baby Lando finishes 6th, and Yuki gets a point. Red Bull wins the Constructors' Championship for the first time in 10 years, a day after their founder's passing. People are crying, there's champagne flowing, fireworks are popping off. Everything is bigger in Texas, Dan, except for F1 drivers.
Yes, it's time for the F1 minute here, even though I want to hear that sound
gave it
again.
away?
Je suis stressé pour les minutes de Formule 1. J'ai besoin d'énergie. Énergie.
Let's go,
Way to lift the
energy.
beat drop.
Oh, energy.
Bonjour et bienvenue à Circuit Paul Ricard pour le Grand Prix de France. Les températures élevées sur le circuit signifient que la gestion des pneus va être essentielle. Charles Leclerc, le pilote automobile monégasque, fait passer à Max Verstappen pour la première place. Le pilote Ferrari doit gagner pour rester dans les championnats. Mais non! Quelle horreur! Une catastrophe! Sacré bleu! Charles Leclerc sort de la course! Encore de la malchance! Il est fini! Une honte! Max Verstappen prend une grosse avance. Lewis Hamilton, le pilote Mercedes, est 12e. Carlos Sainz, l'autre pilote Ferrari, a commencé à la 19e place. Tout sa pénalité pour le changement du moteur. Il est roue contre roue avec Sergio Perez, mais l'imbécile de chez Ferrari recommence. Max Verstappen a fini premier de la course. Carlos Sainz est le pilote toujours. Lando, l'enfant Norris, a terminé 7e. Lance Stroll a terminé avec un point. Félicitations, Mike Crack.
Huh?
Wow! Oh my God!
Holy shit! Holy
Merci,
shit!
merci.
Oh my God! Was there an imbecile in there? Did you say
Les
imbecile?
imbéciles de chez Ferrari recommencent.
That sounded.
Why does Greg Cody have a sly smirk on his face?
It's just my natural disposition.
You seem
Sonny.
happy. Something was making you happy. You were thinking about something there, and you seemed amused.
I saw something on the show notes that made me smile, which was that my old buddy Joe Biden gave me a call the other day, and I played it on my podcast, and it just made me smile because it was good hearing from him again.
So listen to what just happened there, because it is what really happened. I just caught a private thought that Greg Cody was having, and it was about his podcast.
Right, it was.
And it was about thinking that we had not yet promoted his podcast, that we hadn't done his catchphrases. He was just smiling, thinking about himself. And I caught him. I thought he was smiling about something that had just happened. There are any number of things locally that I want to get to, including the Miami Open. I don't know whether anybody around here wants to talk tennis, but we had an iguana. Did we have an infestation, or we just had a single iguana that was interrupting play? Because this is a beautiful piece of swampland. It's very expensive in the Keys, and a major tournament really gets played down here every year. And
Released it. What's he supposed to do there? You got to catch it.
You don't get that kind of entertainment in Indian Wells, do you?
Oh, that's why the Miami Open is the 5th major. And Dan, we got a major upset at the 5th major over the weekend. Carlos Alcaraz lost only his second match of 2026. He had lost last week in Indian Wells to a surging Medvedev, but now we have a new American hope, Sebi Korda. Finally, through all these injuries, Korda has never been in the discussion as top American male. You've heard the likes of Tiafoe, who had a big win over the defending champion yesterday. You've heard Tommy Paul, Taylor Fritz, Ben Shelton. But Sebi Korda right now is a player that's in the best form, beating his first ever #1 overall. Sebi Korda, the son of Peter Korda. His 2 other siblings are professional athletes. Dan, we might have something to get excited about in American men's tennis.
I don't believe it. I don't believe it. American women's tennis is fine. Americans men's tennis, it's not ever hopeful.
What? There's time for hope. And he beat a number 1, and he's playing really well. As you know, the Del Rey Open is the father of form, and he won that.
I made a mistake putting that tournament in Key Biscayne. How many years has it not been in Key Biscayne? That's straight.
5.
That was straight. That iguana normally wouldn't be in that area.
That's Miami Gardens.
That's Miami Gardens. And while we have iguanas there, I don't think the Hard Rock is the place that I would assume to see an iguana scatter across a court. That's where the F1 races are. That's a concrete jungle over there.
You saying it was planted?
Yeah, they had it flown in from Key Biscayne.
How many years has it been since the Miami Open was in Key Biscayne?
It moved in 2019.
Yeah, I said 5. I was 2 off.
Lean back. Be proud.
I'm leaning back, Jack. What do you want me to do?
Greg, how do you feel today about you've got your coffee, you have not had your breakfast, you haven't worked in a week. Last time you left coughing, wheezing, and missed your next day because you had you blew a gasket here. The one day you came off a cruise for 10 days, you drank way too much. Your breakfast was tomato juice and vodka every morning
called a Bloody
for
Mary,
10 days, and then you go wheezing into the doctor's office after one day of work because you blew a gasket, and then you miss the rest of the week.
Yeah, correct. Well, miss the rest of the week from this show. I did other work, but I had an acute respiratory infection.
Yeah, but your Joe Biden was healthy, right? Healthy enough to perform.
Oddly enough, Joe Biden seemed to have a cold as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So you were very sick and you couldn't come in here, but you're Joe Biden miraculously without drugs. This is going to sound like sick Joe Biden on your podcast that makes you smile to start this segment.
Hey, GC, it's Joe. Hey, I wanted a long time no talk. Sorry about my voice. I'm getting over a little bit of a cold. I don't get the medical care I used to since I'm out of office. Anyway, I want to let you know, I don't know how closely you follow women's Division III hoops, but the University of Scranton reached the national semifinals this year. They went 31-0 in the regular season. Coach Ben O'Brien and the gals, I think they play in purple, the Lady Royals, the best thing in purple since Prince. Their leading scorer, Casey Cranston, sounds like Scranton. She ought to be called Casey Scranton. I remember sitting around the kitchen table in Scranton, and my dad would say, Joey, right now at this time in history, the women don't get a fair shake. But someday up the road, you're going to see the University of Scranton women's basketball team reach the national semifinals. I didn't have much interest at the time, but I tell you, man, I'm wearing a purple ascot right now, just giving you this message. Anyway, congratulations to the Scranton Lady Royals. I got to go, man. My voice is shot.
I cannot articulate to anyone listening to this how profoundly bad the judgment has to be to allow his Biden to go any syllable beyond Scranton. The judgment exhibited by the producers of this show, who thought that he could carry that comedically with a very poor Joe Biden when all he's got of this impersonation is the Scranton, is a failure from the people who support Greg Cody.
So that wasn't Joe Biden on the phone?
Of course it was.
Kathleen Turner.
Zaslow is still in trespassing. Let's put him in picture as he recreates Zaslow. What are you going to do for us as we put you in picture? Oh, you're back out on the other side of the chain now. What happened?
Nothing happened. I didn't want to stand on the steps for, any longer. So I'm going to show off my acting chops, and we're going to reenact the end of the chainsaw scene, man, because those are the steps right there.
All right, so it was hugely overacted, and we can it's the first hotel room, right? Is there a plaque up there, too, to signify that that's the hotel room, or did you not get up that high?
No. No, I mean, I can go up that high, but, like, it's clearly blocked off. There's another gate. It's not letting you walk past, but that's where he told Chi-Chi to grab the yayo, right there.
Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead and take us through. But you remember how that man overacted into the street and staggered into the street. All right, and then get back here because we've got sports to talk. Go ahead and do it in picture-in-picture. This is silence. This is a silent scene. You don't need any sounds or anything. So we'll continue doing our little sports show here as Zaslow recreates this scene with tremendous acting. Yes, Roy, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to know, like, Greg, you had a cold before, so do you think your Biden would be better now? Like, if we laid out and just gave you another, I don't know, minute and a half to try to do a Biden again, would that be any better this time around?
No, I don't do Biden. I mean, he.
Well, if you were
me.
to do an impression of the call that he made to you, how do you think that would go?
Well, first of all, can I give a quick update? Because Joe told me, what is Zaz doing? You doing a push-up in the middle of the street?
Zaslow, that was amazing, and Greg was too busy wanting to talk about his podcast to notice what anyone else in the room was doing. His self-absorption is at an all-time high, and it started the segment with him reading his notes, pondering his podcast, because he was amused by that terrible Biden, terrible flu-ridden Biden who couldn't come into work.
He's always terrible.
He had a bad cold. I can't help
What should have her name have been?
What was her first name?
Oh, God.
Erica Scranton.
See him up to Erica Scranton.
All right,
Yeah,
good
because
question.
it was like something that sounded like Scranton. Quick update. The Scranton Division III women's basketball team that Joe mentioned reaching the national semifinals, they reached the championship game, but then lost. So that's a quick update.
Shockiller.
He wasn't lying. He was talking about a legit thing with the Scranton Division III women's basketball team. It's a big event. It's a big deal. It's a big deal in Scranton.
Zaz, what do you have for us before you get out of there? Thank you. That was exceptional, an amazing performance. I hope we could put them side by side on social so people could see you were really in character there, Zaz. That was a tremendous recreation of a 40-year-old movie.
Dan, two things about me everybody knows. I'll never be a cuck, and I'm a great actor.
I was surprised by that. You caught me off guard. Come on home. You caught me off guard from the wrestling match. You were a very good wrestler, even though that you were as a character. You realize if you want the lane of being a wrestler, cuck is your lane. I know you'll never be a cuck, but cuck is your lane.
That's a terrible gimmick. That will not be what I'm doing. But I appreciate the advice.
All right, come on home. We miss you. And Greg,
okay, I miss you too.
Why are you're hanging up on him like a significant other?
I want Greg
come on home.
Shout into the microphone. Shout into the microphone as if he's shouting at Zaz. Greg, your performance today.
Thank you. Cock-a-doodle-doo, Zaz. See you in a few. Go on. What were you saying?
You wanted to get off your cuck-a-doodle-doo line. You had it lined up there for.
I did. It was in the queue. It was waiting.
Timing has just been a little off today.
Thank
just
you.
across the show. It's not a compliment.
Oh.
It's because we're interacting with the outdoors. We've got Zaz being incorporated. You can't tell me we've had anything better on today's show than Zaz is staggering down those stairs. He was on Ocean Drive. He went on to the street.
I won't tell you that.
And Greg Cody wasn't even paying attention to it, didn't even know what we were doing.
Right.
Like, had no understanding because he simply wanted to talk about his podcast.
I just looked and I saw him doing push-ups in the street and then getting run over by a Whimo.
Not what he was doing. Okay, I'm sorry, Greg. We're going to have to cut your microphone off.
No, man. Come on, this guy's
just let him keep rolling.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Let's update our tournament. You're with me because nobody else is with me, and this is the constant tension we have on CodyTuesdays. This has been a throwback performance from him.
He's a victim of bad editing. The Kathleen Turner call should have been like half that length.
Wait, so was it or was it not Greg?
That was Kathleen Turner.
It was Joe.
That's what I thought.
Mike,
guys, Joe had a cold.
Mike, half that length. That impersonation needs to be 2 syllables. It talking any more than that is a disaster in any form that it's been used.
The Scranton team made the semifinal.
What impersonation?
Yes. What is he?
Let's update
Roy,
our
what
tournament.
is he talking about?
I don't understand. Siegfried, you know?
Let's update.
Nope.
Oh, that's a bridge too far. That's a bridge too far right there. Siegfried and Roy making an appearance after we've annoyed the audience for this long this way.
Well, if you think that's a bridge too far, some folks across the aisle might have something to say about that.
So what happened to you at the Sloan conference when you were doing your Obama?
What happened? Is that Kathleen Turner?
Hey, can I play too?
No, now that's a good look. You
Come on, man. We got to come together.
if
Full kinky food can.
what happened? You broke out your Obama at Sloan, and the audience did not get it. They didn't.
They didn't know what I was doing. They were just silent staring. And so Pablo said, "Oh, he does his awful Obama." I was like, "No, hold on. Wasn't awful. They just didn't know what was happening because this is a serious crowd here to watch a serious panel about us uncovering truths," which we did. But when I brought it back around the second time, I brought the house down.
Like Howard Dean in Iowa.
I mean, as performance art, you going before Sloan when poor Pablo is trying to do a live show with a degree of difficulty that was really uncommon, right? Putting the pressure of, let's break this investigation at Sloan, like he was nervous and should have been. That's all very hard to do. For you to be comfortable enough to go impersonation on stage, I was proud of you. I was proud of you for trying to lighten the everything of it, but that he was working to that crowd and they didn't recognize your Obama.
Yeah, Dan, he wasn't actually nervous. Truth be told, me and David Sampson were way more nervous because, again, when we typically do these episodes, there's a lawyer either in the room or on the call who makes us stop and re-say things. And so we're kind of stressing backstage to tell Pablo, there's no safety net. Well, how do we know what to say, what not to say? And Pablo's like, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And so I did that in part because I wanted to avoid saying something salacious that might get us all sued.
Yeah, that's good. That's the danger of live and the danger of all the work that he's doing around this stupidity that we do here to fund it. Let's get to our tournament at Le Batard Show. I've got the round of 32 results, so this has been very good this year. I've been really proud and happy to have this thing reach its previous standards because at the best of this game, and visually, if you have not seen this visually, you should check it out on YouTube because visually, if you don't know the people involved, they're all sold by the visuals of this, even though some of you don't need visuals for most of these. So in the Midwest, St. Louis is gone. Number 9 seed. That means this is gone.
Brent Venables looks like the small-town sheriff in a movie that ends up being corrupt after you spent the whole movie telling your wife he's corrupt.
You got to root here for Michigan. You got to root for this to advance because it deserves to advance because it's as good as it gets.
Michael Smith looks like the high school teacher that motivates his students by sitting in a chair backwards.
This one crushed me, seeing TCU lose, seeing this lose.
Draymond Green looks like he has to sneeze.
Always. Always. Yes, I mean, that's a good impersonation. Yeah, I mean, I don't know that we've ever had a better one than that. That he's the defensive player of the year many times, and he always looks like he's in mid-sneeze. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Does Draymond Green always look like he's in mid-sneeze?
Quite frankly.
Duke advanced. That means TCU is gone, but this advances.
Fernando Mendoza looks like the cashier in a 1960s McDonald's poster.
That's great. It's really great.
Top notch.
Perfect.
And I would say I'm not sure that's what you want, number 1 at quarterback. Just that aesthetic. Just if I say to you, do you want your future franchise quarterback, no matter how good he is, to look like somebody who starred in the McDonald's ad in the 50s? You'd say no, correct? Now, let's not make it about him. Let's just say optics, all optics. You drafting that, number 1?
Does Ty Simpson look like that?
He's 190 pounds. I don't know how that's going second in the draft. I really don't. How is that possible, the second quarterback in the draft?
I mean, Drake May kind of looks like that.
190?
Oh, he looks like Mendoza.
No, he looks like Mendoza. He looks like someone that would be behind the cashier at a McDonald's.
No, a Chick-fil-A.
Drake May looks very young.
Ty Simpson is going to be the number 2 quarterback taken in a terrible quarterback draft when quarterback is the thing that you need the most, as Miami's got scouts all over the place for 4 first-round picks. That's not Alabama good, but that's sort of top of the food chain. Like wherever it is that you go get your draft picks, if Miami has 4 of them, Indiana's the better team for all time. Indiana just produced the greatest regular season there has been in that sport, longer than any other, and slayed every dragon that needed to be slayed, including slaying 4 first-round picks for Miami, which Indiana will not have. Miami lost with the more talented team by the metrics of how we do this. Their quarterback was better than Miami's quarterback, who is the 3rd, 4th, 5th round pick. What is Carson Beck going to be?
I think he'll be a day 2 guy.
Yeah, I think he'll be
between
3rd.
2nd and 3rd round now. I think he's done so much this draft build-up to improve his stock. And in the interviews, people are really going to appreciate how smart he is about the game.
How many quarterbacks will be taken before him at a position where everybody wants to hit for value at the quarterback? Because Carson Beck is coming into the pros with an unusual resume, right? Wherever it is that we've sped up everything at that position in a way that's a bit insane, right? Like I'm giving this kind of pressure when it's that hard to play that position to a 21-year-old fresh out of college and saying, hey, value at quarterback. You got a year, you got 18 months, you can go from Carson Wentz, you're the highest paid quarterback in the league, to never mind. It's all going to happen very fast to you. How did we get to the point where the quarterbacks are so bad in this draft that Carson Beck climbs higher than I would have thought of him as a professional ever, because he's just been playing professional football in giant games on television for 4 years. How do I bring a quarterback into the league who's got that resume? 4 straight years of I'm playing in all the biggest games and I'm winning most of them.
Right. I mean, he's got the experience. He's got the winning record at the highest level. He just reached the championship game. I mean, I would take a shot on him. I think he's, what, the 5th or 6th quarterback?
I think he's higher than that.
ESPN has him as 4th. So they've got Mendoza, they've got Simpson, then they have Nussmeier, and then it's Carson Beck as their 4th quarterback.
Okay, but
he's moving up.
So I don't know what the experts are saying on this, and I'd be curious, Greg Cody, because you're the king of the exactos.
Yeah.
I can't believe you agreed with that.
No, I am the king of the exactos. Ask Mel.
You've beaten Mel Kiper several years in a row, and I think you lost last year, though, right? Didn't he have more?
Could be. I'll have to check the records.
Okay, well, you'd know if you'd won because you remind me every year whenever it is that you take out Mel Kiper. Ty Simpson being thought of this way after what I saw from Alabama, and they had a ton of drops, okay? They did because they were learning how to play football. But 190 pounds, I don't buy on that, and we've gotten very fast at chewing these people up. You don't have time to get to 250 or 213 or 215 or 225 in the weight room because you got to grow up physically to play in this league.
I'd be more concerned about the snap counts. It's usually a bigger indicator of a bust factor. Trey Lance, Anthony Richardson, these are quarterbacks that have had comparable snap counts. Ty Simpson just hasn't played that much ball. And when you haven't had that much experience, it seems like, especially in the NIL age, guys with a lot of experience in snap counts, less likely to bust out at that pick. So that's where the risk is. But Ty Simpson has a lot of positive momentum behind him. A lot of that is pumped up by Dan Orlovsky, and the internet had fun looking at who Dan Orlovsky is represented by and who Ty Simpson is represented by. That's why this narrative is out there about Ty Simpson.
How do you guys feel about that one? How do you guys feel about that?
I mean, it happens all the time, and sometimes it's not the only deciding factor. I'm sure Dan would say that that's not what's going on there, but it is a data point. And I think we're in a day and age when it comes to sharing information, be it from insiders or analysts, where that needs to be taken into account.
Okay, but you understand, you understand that what Mike Ryan is doing there. Dan Orlovsky is great. He's a rising star in the business. Already is a star, really, but is going to have options at a place where they're feeding the eagles and starving the turkeys because the industry is rattling, and it's rattled.
Ooh, is he an eagle or a turkey? I want to play this game.
Well,
Sounds like an eagle.
Let's play the game if you want to play it there or at Fox or anywhere else with eagles and turkeys. But Orlovsky has now become, he's gone. This is a fairly amazing evolution. Guy mocked as part of a winless season where he's the quarterback symbol for running out of the end zone, back of the end zone, scared from a pass rush in a way that made him lose sight that he's 5 yards out of bounds. No awareness about the size of the situation. That he was the visual incompetence for winless in that league.
He was the quarterback on that Lions team that went
one
winless?
of many. He was like the last of. They went through a bunch. They got a bunch of people hurt, but that's the moment. I think I have my timeline right. That was a winless Lions team, correct? That was the Lions team that shamed me because I thought they were going to make some noise in the playoffs after John Kitna had a giant preseason. Roy Williams, I said they're getting to the playoffs, and they didn't win a single game. And that was the play everyone remembers from that season, if I'm remembering correctly.
Now that's a data point.
Is it correct, though? So, okay, I've yammered, but if you're telling me the way that information is being processed now is that in our most unscientific of measurements, trying to measure all of this meat market of who's the best athlete out here, somebody's needle is moving up the charts because they've just got access to ESPN and they're represented by the same agency, and the internet is clucking about, is he conflicted on, is he doing sales on television, or does he really believe a 190-pound quarterback can be a first-round pick in this league in a first round where there are no good quarterbacks except the first one?
I think you're taking some obvious catnip there. It's just something that people should consider. Right. Orlovsky is known as, because he's out there with a hot take saying this is flatly the best quarterback prospect. He's better than the Heisman Trophy winning national champion in Fernando Mendoza. Not many people are saying that, and so people are picking that part apart. I do think that Ty Simpson, look, Miami was in on the pursuit there, and Ty Simpson was told by pretty much every front office in the NFL, you're a first-round draft pick despite the snap count and despite the measurables. And if that's the feedback that you're getting from highly respected front offices, you take that. We'll see. Like I said, I'd be worried about the snap counts. I think that that's a huge data point in this day and age.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I mean, if you trust the credibility of Orlovsky, which I tend to, then you have to think he's not going to get behind Simpson if he doesn't believe it to some large degree.
Look, Mike accuses me of taking the catnip, and I'm just saying, he says the internet is clucking on something, and I'm asking you, Amin, as somebody who wants to play Eagles or Turkeys, you guys know how I feel about information and its sources and its gathering, okay? We know how I feel journalistically about some of that. I can't say as I sit here other than seeing Alabama stink and that quarterback be too small. All of last year as Alabama stunk. Like, I know it's Alabama's quarterback. Alabama stunk last year. Worst version of Alabama I've seen in probably, I don't know how long I have to go.
They did win a playoff game.
I don't care. Like,
okay, all right. Typically that's a successful season. This may not be Nick Saban's standard, but to say that they stunk when they won a road playoff
I saw
game.
that team play against Alabama on the road and lose by 2 touchdowns. You do not have to tell me anything else about that football team. That was not a good football team. They went through the SEC, a weak SEC that got a lot of credit for being the SEC. Like a weak SEC, not an average SEC.
Our tone is good.
Weak. Let's get back to the tournament. Soften it up. Texas A&M's 10 seed gone, unfortunate.
Adam Silver looks like a knitting needle.
But Houston advances, and we've got to root for poor Houston.
Ed Malloy looks like the guy who brushes his teeth in the company bathroom.
That is the perfect set of teeth for that joke.
Yeah.
That's the perfect smile for that joke. That's the guy who brushes his teeth in the company bathroom, especially that tooth in the front.
And it's always a white guy.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Is it always a white guy brushing his teeth in the company bathroom?
Look, it's my data. I've just never seen one.
Roy?
Yeah.
Louisville's out. 6 seed gone.
Hunter Pence looks like the pirate forced to walk the plank after a failed mutiny against his captain, Jeff Samardzija.
Crushing. Samardzija should be in there and make the joke better. Michigan State, I'm terrified of them just mucking up, advancing to the Final Four and ruining basketball. Michigan State advances, that means this advances.
Adam Silver looks like a pissed off lighthouse.
Thank you, Siegfried. It's that visually good.
Yeah.
Gonzaga, number 3 seed, gone.
Aaron Judge looks like the most athletic member of the Addams family.
That's a crusher. But Texas, an 11 seed, advances.
Adam Silver looks like an Apple Watch charger.
There are just some teams you wonder, how are they still in the tournament?
That's not one of them. That's not one of them.
Teach their own.
Well, were you looking at the same picture I was looking at? Because that looked like the commissioner of basketball was the Apple Charger. And at this point, given all of the people who are in bed together, it might as well be. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Would you be totally okay with the commissioner of basketball being an actual Apple Charger? Just a computer. We're headed there, aren't we? We had a driverless car today. How far are we from the computers are going to be the commissioners of sport? Hey, who's the sponsor for the league? Apple. Who's your commissioner? The Apple Charger?
Yep. AI will be running everything in a year and a half.
Jeff Samardzija does look more like a pirate than Hunter Pence. Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Who looks more like a pirate, Hunter Pence or Jeff Samardzija? Aaron Judge and Adam Silver. Let's go to VCU, the 11 seed in the South. Sorry, I got lost there. What's VCU?
Tom Izzo looks like a mailman.
Gone. Number 3, Illinois advances.
Tony Reale looks like the overzealous owner of an Italian restaurant who always greets you at the door with my favorite couple when you walk in.
That picture is flawless.
He doesn't look like it. He is it.
Vanderbilt is gone. That means this is gone.
Tim Kirkjian looks like what Steve Carell will look like when he's really, really old.
It's true.
I like Rooster. Bill Lawrence did it again. That show is very well written. Nebraska. Nebraska advances 4 seed. That is?
Bo Nix looks like he's a quarterback on a CW teen drama about high school football.
That picture is great. High Point gone. That means this is gone.
Scott Van Pelt looks like Adam Silver on steroids.
But cortisone. Not right? No.
Yes.
That's so mean.
What is that mean?
It's mean, yeah, but it's funny.
To who?
It was supposed to be uplifting for Scott Van Pelt, like you're Adam Silver on steroids, and then you made the steroid cortisol.
No, but wait a minute. Or cortisone? It's cortisone. It's not cortisol. Cortisone is a healing balm. And
Right.
Wait a minute. So, because when you think steroids, if I say Adam Silver on steroids, now you're making him a bodybuilder,
Yeah, you
correct?
gotta
You're
bulk
making.
up.
You're making.
I think the
you're-
joke is that compared to Adam Silver, just him as he is him on
That's
steroids.
right.
Yeah,
Well, it
steroids.
was a compliment to Scott Van Pelt until you turned it into a topical cream.
Yeah,
You're
we
just
didn't
caught,
need
you're caught
cortisone
up,
in there.
You're caught up, and Scott Van Pelt doesn't look like he's on steroids, so you're trying to change it.
So okay, and I've insulted, and in the
You've
process,
insulted everyone.
and in the process, as a bonus, I've also insulted Scott Van Pelt.
That's right.
Okay, good. So I'm doing
who's
well
High Point
today.
playing?
So I'm doing well today. It's why Mike never wanted us to go live. You see what happens? It just careens off the rails, and Zaz is in the middle of the street on Ocean Drive, and he's recreated a movie from 40 years ago, and Cody doesn't understand it, and Cody's over here confused by everything we're doing while thinking about his podcast and a Joe Biden impersonation that went on 90 seconds too long.
Scranton.
Luckily for you, that Scott Van Pelt one is eliminated, so we won't have this problem again. Who are they playing? Who did they play? Who advances?
I don't know. You tell me.
It's Arkansas. Advances to the Sweet 16.
Brock Purdy looks like a youth pastor.
All right, so Greg Cody continues to be on fire today, calling for the ball and then just backing away from the microphone because you loved how much you love the looks like game. You were insulted. You're insulted that Damashek. Look, this is the truth here. I urge you to go check out the Greg Cody Show featuring Greg Cody. Greg feels threatened by Damashek. Damashek did a Back in My Dave. Do you have a Back in My Day today? It's Tuesday.
No, I happen not to. I had jury duty yesterday. I didn't have time to work one up, but maybe next week we're aiming.
Did you
for
have
that.
jury duty yesterday?
No, I did not. We're aiming for Back in My Day next week.
So that's a may not.
So you missed March, right?
Won't next week be March 30th?
Oh, you got lucky.
Or something
Izzo
like that?
30th.
I think. Yeah.
So you're
Yes,
promising.
31st.
So you're promising on. That means you're locked in for one.
I'm hinting at it. That's for sure. I don't want to say
What are you
promise.
laughing about, Roy?
Oh, we're just getting ready for my top 5 teams that I like to watch as Roy. Do you want to hear them?
Well, but I heard you clap, and then I saw off camera there was somebody that was opening the door.
OLI, the Clemson Tigers. OLI, the Cincinnati Bengals. OLI, the LSU Tigers. Number 5, the Princeton Tigers. Number 4, the Auburn Tigers. Number 3, Tiger Woods. Number 2, Memphis Tigers. And number 1, of course, the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh, God! I'm not having a stroke! I'm not having a stroke! I'm not having a stroke!
Did I just see somebody dressed as a tiger crawl into that room? Did I just see ass crack scurry past Amin so you guys could make the joke of Ethan attacks Roy as a tiger? A visual joke, as if we haven't
Theater
had
of the mind, Dan.
as if we haven't had enough.
Wait, I guess it's not theater of the mind. Theater of the eyes?
As if we have not had enough nonsense today that alienates the audio audience, including Zaz stumbling down some stairs, a joke that only works if you're watching visually.
It's a great joke, though.
Whose idea was that?
And now under the table, my dad just fed me. I have a top 5 too.
I'm just, that kind of thing. Hey, Zaz is back.
Jack.
Welcome back, Jack.
You were trying to whisper to Chris that you
No, I
have
was
a top
motion. I was
5.
doing hand signals, like sign language.
What is
type
your
thing.
top 5 about? And can I get you mauled by a tiger before you finish it?
No, let's not. But it's the top 5 things that connote jury duty. Because I thought you were on jury duty yesterday, but you apparently
You lied
shirked-
about being on jury duty
you
moments
shirked
ago.
your duty as a citizen.
This is a fine. Hey, I thought lying was a fine. I'm not going to use the lying cue on the penalty box, but I thought that the lying was a fine,
Nah.
and he lied about jury duty. Just flat out
It
lied.
was a fib.
No, that
It was a
Yeah,
fib.
he is lying. There's something there. It should be a
Yeah.
fine. You fibbed.
Can I tell you? Got a fibula in my
But-
leg.
but-
Thank you, Amin. Couple of them.
Isn't your fibula technically your leg? You got a fibula in your leg?
Yeah, you don't. Do you
Yeah.
see it when you look at
Brad
me?
Keselowski's racing with a broken one.
Okay.
Wow. One up.
Oh,
me.
wait. That might be a femur. I'll check.
Greg, are you tangled up in your headset right now?
Nope.
Like you lied to me about jury duty. You did. You didn't have jury duty, but then you said I've got a top 5 about the jury duty.
No, I do.
So- but
I mean, it can wait until you finally do jury duty, which won't be for a while because you keep postponing. You know, the real citizens, they go in there, they do their civic duty, but you're bigger and better than that. So you'll wait for the courts to call again, and you'll come up with a cockamamie excuse. Well, you can't do it.
Civic duty. I pay taxes. That's my civic duty.
It was a femur. I'm so stupid.
so the fibula is a part. It is the leg, or it's a part of the leg.
Part of the leg.
Part of
I
the
thought
leg.
it was just the leg.
Yeah,
I
but
thought
it's
it was.
femur's painful.
I thought the fibula was just basically a synonym for the part of no.
No,
Okay.
it's a bone. I
Back,
believe it's the
guys.
biggest bone in the body, isn't it?
It depends
Not
on the
mine.
body.
Baby.
Is it though? I'll put it on the poll, please, at Le Batard Show. Is the fibula the biggest bone in the body? Because I don't think that is what
I think it is.
I thought it was the femur.
Look it up.
I believe we're showing our ignorance as a show.
It's the femur.
Look at me.
Yeah, they both start with F.
Fibula is like a lying vampire. I am fibula.
Can you guys get me the damn patino? I've been asking for it for 2 days. I've been asking visually for the patino for 2 days of Dracula. And yes, that is a great, you are absolutely right. That is a great sarcastic cartoon Dracula movie. Hey, who is it? It's Fibula. You guys don't think it's funny that Patino's in the Sweet 16 again? It's uproarious, is it not?
Yeah, it's funny.
He's really good at this.
I don't really like blood. Garlic, my favorite.